Okay. Vacation. It was summer. And summer was the time... That was a terrible sentence. Go over there, Decker. Okay, there's something on the fridge. Alright, well, let's read this quickly before anyone else gets in here. Home to a stunning display of natural beauty. Ochoko National Forest is a perfect destination for hunters, wilderness enthusiasts, and weekend campers alike. One-of-a-kind rock formations provide exciting challenges for climbers, and the many canyons offer scenic hike experiences, as well as swimming opportunities. Located less than 5 hours from Portland and less than 6 from the Central Coast, Ochoko is perfect for a summer getaway. Okocho. Okocho! That name I'm... Seriously, dude? 1 second. Actually, no. He's enough trouble. I don't need him also being bad luck. Alright. Located less than 5 hours from Portland and less than 6 from the Central Coast, Ochoko is perfect for a summer getaway. For more information or to request a brochure, please call the ranger station at blah 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 blah. I don't see anything else in here. There is something over down here on the side of the fridge. Blast off at Booster Bay. Come and enjoy the excitement of Booster Bay this weekend. We have a very special discount to all young astronauts out there. Children under the age of 12 who bring their official Booster Bay Astrojet get free admission to the park. Take a flight to remember on our world-famous rocket coaster. Explore the inner workings of 3 model spacecraft on the educational city in the sky. Treat yourself to burgers, ice cream, and cosmic cotton candy. And more in the food court of the future. There's never been a better time to visit Booster Bay, and you can't beat the price. Yeah, well, I have a feeling Tommy's gonna get the shaft today. Things said out of context that shouldn't be taken out of context. That's not helping, Tommy.
Anne, what's the latest with you? I hope you're doing better than I am. I'm going a little stir-crazy. Dan loves it here, but he's just riding all day long, so he could be anywhere. I could use a change of scenery. I've walked every trail in the woods and even started a few of my own. It's great getting away from the city, but I wouldn't exactly call this roughing it. Tommy's certainly having a good time exploring the woods. Sometimes we go together, and if I'm in the studio, he knows he can play outside where I can see him, and to stay away from the cliff. Do you remember when we were kids trying to jump the creek in the woods behind the house? I think Tommy's getting into that phase now, climbing trees and all that. Oops, I got a little carried away there. You probably don't need to hear about all of our outdoor adventures. Sorry about that. Well, let me know how you're doing. Love, Linda.
I'm assuming that's her sister.
Oh yeah, maybe if I... Be careful, honey.
I felt really bad for the kid last time, so... That's why he got so much attention. Now, where is he drawing? He's always drawing somewhere. Also, writing on a typewriter would drive me mad. Like, seriously, I would just be beside myself trying to deal with typos all the fucking time. And there's that picture.
Good, alright. Dan and I had a great talk tonight after Tommy went to bed. I could tell it was hard for him, but he admitted that his drinking had gotten out of hand. I guess sometimes you just need to hear it from someone else. He even gave jogging a shot, and I think that might have been the biggest wake-up call. He couldn't even get through half a mile without being winded. He's sticking with it, though, and I'm glad we have our nights back again. I'm going out for a hike.
Okay, be safe.
Does that...
Okay,
And then...
she wants to go camping. I can hear Dan typing. Yeah, I know, Tommy, you really want to go to the rocket place, but, no.
Hey, Mommy. Hey, honey.
Oh, he's gonna be really disappointed, though, because he thinks it's free, even though he doesn't understand that just because he gets free admission.
I've got to stay on the book.
Damn it.
This is my chance to do something people remember, something that matters. If this one isn't good enough, there might not even be a next one. Certainly not one without all sorts of publisher strings attached. This is why we saved up enough to take the
The
summer
boy
off.
better not kill himself,
No
though.
excuses. Of course, a long
They wouldn't
weekend
go
would
that
be
dark,
fun,
would
but
they?
That's also the problem. How do you stay hungry when you've gotten used to weekend getaways? How do you recapture that feeling of being a broke college kid chasing a dream? How do you get back out on that limb again, scared it's gonna break, but inching out anyway? Listen to me. Wound up so tight. Maybe taking one night off might help after all.
Okay, Dan seems to think that he needs a night off. Which, I don't necessarily blame him. I don't know what we're gonna do.
Haven't had a drink on a weeknight in 2 weeks. Came up with a new slogan. Write sober, rewrite sober, rewrite sober. Hemingway it's not, but it's good to smooth things over with Linda and Tommy a bit. Gotta admit, I don't miss hangovers, but still, I do sometimes miss sitting down with a drink and a crazy idea.
Oh, there he is.
How was work? How was work?
You know, could always be better.
Please don't.
I need Dan to leave.
Again?
Great. And now you're coming in here.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to call about that.
Penny, thanks so much for your letter. It made my day. Tramer's Way came out a while ago now, so I don't get letters like this too often. Writing can be a pretty isolating profession at times, which makes it a big boost to hear that someone out there is getting something from my work. Your support means the world to me. To answer your question, I'm indeed in the midst of writing a new book. I don't have a title or a release date yet, but I'm plugging away on it slowly but surely. I plan to finish it by the end of summer, and I truly hope you enjoy it when it comes out. Thanks again for your kind words. Dan Kaplan.
You know very well that if I were to possess the typewriter, I'd probably just, like, make it say, like, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Just over and over again. Dan, I need you to leave. Dan?
And what about the... Penny, thanks
No,
so
I
much.
reread that.
You saw it, right?
Ah, fuck!
There it is.
What? It just... It was just here.
Oh, well, if we're going with that reference, then I would make it no beer and no TV make Homer go crazy.
3 days in, I'm still trying to figure out where to take the new piece. It's changing as I go, which is always exciting and sort of the point, but this one feels a little aimless. I keep snapping out of a daze and realizing I've been staring out the window for 5 minutes instead of working. When we first got here, I was excited to have a studio with so many windows and so much natural light, but now it feels almost like a cage. Why be this close to nature but not be, well, in it? Actually, cage isn't the right word. This place is beautiful, and there are so many more trees than back home. I guess it's more of a reminder when it's right there the whole time, not just an idea or something for the weekend. Anyway, back to the painting. I'm not going to get anything done on it now.
That was not just in my head.
Okay. So Linda's suspicious, but she isn't spooked. So that's good, at least. Alright, it looks like I chose, like, the right time to get out of the room. Jim said you'd never make it. He said you're a joke. This is an opportunity, not a burden. Not one page at a time. An idea is not dangerous. The idea that is not dangerous is unworthy of being called an idea at all. You could be working a regular job right now. Yeah. I think we're gonna go with Dan and Tommy this time, actually. Okay, so I need some firewood? Which... I hadn't seen any wood around. Ah, there's some. There's nobody here. So... yeah, I mean, Homer does type go crazy. It's only in the, it's only what he says that is something something. Then it's, give me the bat, man. Give me the bat. Give me the bat, 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 bat. It's late, but I must record my thoughts. Perhaps it'll help me make some sense of them. I should not say thoughts, as there's only one thought in my mind. I look back, but a week, and see that when I arrived, my only thought of Jay being gone. My only thought was of Jay being gone. That sad thought has been replaced with another. What if I was gone as well? I feel regret in writing simple writing of these words. If I'm truthful, it is not a thought that has occurred to me before. I could not be sure where it came from. It's almost as if it was put in place by something I did not understand. Oh, am I K? Am I K? I think I'm K. I'm probably K. Okay. I must think of my family and their heartache. Our children have lost one parent. I could not bear to hurt them again. Though they are all grown up, and they have no practical need of me, yet I had no strictly practical need of Jay, and look where that loss has left me. Perhaps I will venture into town tomorrow. Maybe some stranger, unknowing, will show me some kindness, some small thing that plants a seed of hope. Alright, so we are gonna Go find the other notebook. Notebook! Notebook! Where are you, notebook? Nope. I got nothing to say to you after what you did, toilet. It was a shitty thing to do. I feel shame looking on last night's entry. Looking back on last night's entry, yet it does clarify choices before me. I can walk off the cliff, close my eyes, lean forward and be done. It would not be hard, or I can find a path forward without Jay. I hold no hope that I'll find another love in the autumn and winter of my life, but perhaps there's peace to be found. I went into town this morning and stopped at the cafe. I sat at a sidewalk table and sipped coffee, watching people pass, now and then as they lived their lives. I will never think of my time in this house fondly. The circumstances, they make such a remembrance an impossibility. But I know my time here has allowed me to part the fog that clouded my mind when I arrived. I know now that there are two paths before me. All that is left is to choose. Dan put his book first, and explained that he simply didn't have time for a longer trip. He decided to make it up to them with a one-night beach camping trip where he happened to get a new idea for his book. The night off relaxed him, and by noon the next day he was back at the typewriter working with renewed purpose. Tommy was so proud of finding the free admission special for Booster Bay that he couldn't understand why his parents hadn't taken him for free. Dan tried to explain the reasons, but it did little good. Tommy perked up when his father told him they could go before the summer was out, no matter what it cost. Linda was disappointed that they didn't go camping at Okocho, so she went on a day hike herself just to get out of the house and try to get some use of her new pack. She was only an hour into her hike when she twisted her ankle on a tree root and had to limp back home in pain, alone and angry. God damn it, Linda! When Tommy continued to struggle with Mr. and Mrs. Kaplan, I want to stress that it's perfectly normal for some children to fall behind in specific areas. Tommy may be struggling with reading comprehension, but his verbal and visual abilities are excellent. That said, he won't catch up on his own. He will need support from both of you. I recommend that you do the attached exercises with Tommy every weekday morning for 1 or 2 hours. He'll be able to focus exclusively on these 2 straight hours, so you'll need to take... You'll be unable to focus exclusively on these for 2 straight hours. You'll need to take intermittent breaks. But use your judgment and stay with it as long as you can feel he can stay engaged. I suggest that you do your sessions in the morning before he tires himself out and becomes distracted. I feel confident that with a supportive environment and dedicated exercise, he will catch up to the other children in his class. Please be in touch if you have any questions. So there's summer class? Is Tommy doing summer class?
Barb, sorry it's been so long since I've written. Things have been hectic around here, and I'm trying to figure out a way to get things back on track. I don't really want to get into it, but we're getting pulled in a lot of different directions right now. Nothing hurtful, just competing priorities, I guess. Although those can get worse and worse over time. I mean, Dan and I, before we got up here, you know we'd started to drift. Look at that. I said I didn't want to get into it, and I did anyway. Enough about me. Please tell me you're doing well, and I hope this doesn't stress you out too much. I promise to write a happier letter soon. Yours always, Linda.
If I were to summarize this game so far in like a one-sentence description, it would be disembodied spirit helps dysfunctional family. Things happen? Probably with a heavy question mark on that.
Wow, you're right. I guess we've just been so busy.
We barely talked yesterday.
Wow, you're right. I guess we've just been so busy.
Is that her over there? No, that's just the stools. Get it, toilet! Stools! This is going to be a weird thing for anyone else to watch. Because it's going to be this, like, really, like, depressing story and then just a bunch of toilet jokes.
I wish I hadn't done so much research to find sites and trails, because now I keep catching myself daydreaming about them instead of working. I still need to get out of the house. I've done the Ridge Trail probably 15 times now. It hardly seems worth it anymore. Finding new spots is half the point. I guess tomorrow I'll check in town and see if there's a local guidebook or ranger office. Maybe there's something I haven't found yet. Something nearby is still better than nothing.
Christ, Linda. It was one hiking trip. We went out and camped on the beach. We were, well, not we. You were a family. Jesus. I hear someone, so I'm going to go up into the lamp. Lamp. Is Linda still suspicious? No, she is not. Alright, well, I'll remember that's there and come back to it. Ideas. Weekly outing. Where? Tuesday movie night. Check channel guide. Or maybe go into town. Family dinner. Too old-fashioned. Picnic. Farmer's market. Those are certainly ideas, Linda. Ah, shit!
Dan and I had a good conversation today. Well, we'll have to wait and see if it was actually good, but I feel like I got my point across about family time. We've been getting a little frayed on the little things lately, and it reminded me of something Anne said one time. Love is a behavior, not an emotion. If something's important to you, you show it with your actions. We weren't doing so well with that before we got here. I told Dan my idea. I want us all to eat together at 7 every night, with family time after that. Tommy's wiped out by 8:30, so we'd get a solid hour and a half as a family, and then Dan and I could have the rest of the night to ourselves. And I think 7's a reasonable request. The rest of the working world knocks off at 5, right? It doesn't really matter what we do with the time, just that we spend it together. It's easy to make excuses when you've got a lot going on, which is why patterns help. I hope he feels the same way.
Yeah, I'm struggling.
Spend more time together.
Okay, I'm struggling with, like, I find that the people in this are getting less and less sympathetic the more I play it. Like,
will it make me smarter?
Honey, listen to me. You are smart.
oh, kid, your potential to learn is not being impacted. It's just what you know. Okay, that's all. Yeah, that's all everything from Tommy's memory. Okay. And I know, that just seems so weird that, like, dinners is too old-fashioned for them. Like,
If I...
seems strange. Also, why do they keep leaving, like, letters that they're sending to other people halfway in an envelope next to the door?
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have snapped. I just...
Whoa.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have snapped.
Also, I kind of wish that it was more obvious, like particularly with these two-part ones, which one came first. Yeah. I do see your point there, but I don't know, it's just... I don't know.
I could tell Linda and Tommy were disappointed, but I wouldn't have been any fun on vacation anyway. Too stressed about getting to the finish line. I did try to have a little fun with the bonfire, which could have been described as roaring, for a good 30-minute period anyway. Getting out of the house turned out to be a good idea too. Spending the night on the beach reminded me of a church retreat we did back in 7th grade. The smell of the bonfire gave me such a strong memory of a crush I had on Jenny something. Or was it Jennifer? I can't remember. But I do remember those flushed schoolboy emotions. I think I can use those for the scene at the dance.
Perfect schedule, aka the single unattached... Oh, really? Aren't you a fucko?
No.
Oh, look.
Alan, this letter might come from out of the blue, but do you remember when you told me about Bobby falling behind on reading? Looks like we're there with Tommy.
Baba.
We knew he was struggling when we came up here, but his teacher gave us a list of books for him to work on over the break and said we should see how he responded to the change in environment. She gave us a few sample readings and told us to keep an eye on how he was grasping the concepts. Tommy still isn't there, and long story short, the pediatrician in town knows a specialist who gave us some exercises to try. They seem pretty straightforward, but I wanted to write and see if you had any tips that helped you guys with Bobby.
Baba.
Just realized I didn't even ask how you've been. Sorry.
Yeah. There should be like one more hint though, shouldn't there?
No.
Oops.
I just don't know. Time. This would all be easier if I didn't ever have to sleep. Last night after Linda went to bed, I spent some time, there's that word again, trying to make everything fit. I even drew up a little chart. Math is simple. It doesn't work. Technically, I could still get in 8 hours, assuming I don't eat or need to do anything that's not writing. But what about letters, reading, dealing with Paul? Hell, what about doing the dishes or taking out the trash? Not to mention that knocking off for the day isn't like flipping off a switch. It takes time to crawl out of my head and start functioning like a normal person again. And I can't just split it up into smaller chunks. Sometimes it takes an hour of false starts just to get going on anything usable, and stopping just sends the whole process right back to square one. Something's got to give.
I really do I feel for Dan. That's a good rule. What is this? Lonnie learns letters, aged 4 to 6. It's 12 chapters of reading comprehension exercises. Alright, I need more clues for Tommy. Well, Tommy's frustrated with books. And kid... Oh, that... Man said to do the Lonnie book every morning. Okay, so, Tommy is most important in this case. I think the Lonnie book is... Yeah, the Lonnie book's over here, isn't it? Oh, shit. Okay. Like, I'm gonna reserve my judgment, complete judgment for the end, but I like what this game is trying to say. Like, I feel... I identify with some of the characters in it, trying to balance all those things. I I think there's times where it doesn't do it as well as some other things I've played. It's not bad. Like I'm not sitting here like feeling like this is terrible or anything. Anyway, I have decided that I am sure of my decision. I do not know which is right or wrong, only that my choice is my own. It took 3 days. 3 days alone, letting whatever calming influence is here, for I'm sure there is something, to guide my thoughts. I thought about Jay, and talked with Jay in my mind. And I know that this is right. I cannot think about the path not taken, only the one ahead. Maybe I'm not Kay. Yeah, like I'm waiting for something terrible to happen. Oh, it's just the lamp. Okay. There, Dan's compromise is chosen. Fuck you, Linda. I don't even remember what Linda wanted. That's terrible. But Tommy actually needs help. And we gave Linda so much time early on that I kind of need to give... I need to give Dan and Tommy time now. Now, where is the other book? There's always 2 books. Where's the other book? There it is. Or maybe not. No, I don't think that's it. It's the one I already read, isn't it? Yep. Is there only 1 book this time? Huh. Maybe that means something. Like, maybe that means we're at the end. Or near the end, at least. Or it could be just trying to slow down the pacing of that story, because we're near the end. Because, yeah, I'm not seeing another book. Yes, toilet! I know this is a shitty situation. I don't need your toilet puns. Dan didn't want Tardy. Oh god, that was a Freudian slip. Tommy to start another school year behind, so he committed to helping the little man for 2 hours every morning. Having both of his parents there helped Tommy's confidence as his reading and his morning practices became something to look forward to. Dan reached a compromise with his family. He would make room in his schedule during the day, but when his office doors were closed, he wasn't to be disturbed. He desperately wanted longer, uninterrupted writing blocks, but made the best of shorter sessions he was able to fit in. I remember what Linda wanted. Linda wanted family suppers together. Linda and Tommy got used to eating dinner without Dan, and most nights he just stopped working long enough to kiss Tommy goodnight before heating up his dinner in the oven. Linda and Dan still found time to catch up a few nights a week, but most of the time they were ships passing in the night, each on their own, of course. Okay, I'm assuming we get one more day. Hey, just 1 second. Oh, actually, we'll start this. The road ahead. Yeah, this kind of sounds endy, doesn't it? The summer came to an end, and Dan faced a difficult... Okay, I just need to... Okay, there we go. Just noticed iTunes was still playing and I didn't want it doing that. After additional consideration, I'd like to augment my recommendation. I believe that the best course of action for Tommy's development will be continued tutoring through the school year. It will be important to coordinate with his teachers and make sure the lessons are aligned. As before, encouragement from both of you is a critical component. Mr. Kaplan, I've observed Tommy looks at you in particular for validation, which I believe comes from a connection he has made with your profession. If at all possible, you should be part of his tutoring. Also, Mrs. Kaplan is more than capable of aiding him as well. I hope I haven't overstepped my bounds by contacting you, but Tommy is a bright boy, and I think with proper support he can not only catch up, but excel. I understand you'll be leaving town shortly, but please don't hesitate to contact me by phone during the school year if I can be of help. Dr. Donald Samuels. He's a doctor, he has to be German. I mean, like, I think that's a requirement, isn't it? Get off the lamp! I love
Bob,
lamp.
by the time you get this, we'll be on our way home, so don't write me back here. It's hard to believe this summer's almost over. So much has happened. The show, getting used to life up here, painting more than I have in years, losing Grandma Jo, figuring out where Dan and I are. Part of me doesn't want to leave, but I know it's time. They say you can't go home again. I think I know what that means now. I don't have it in me to explain everything here, but things will never be the same. I don't even know what home I'm going back to. The only thing I do know is that I'm ready to start painting again. For real, like I did before Tommy. I'm scared and excited and nervous all at the same time. I just wish I knew how we were going to make it work. I hope this finds you well. Yours, Linda.
Well. Oh. Mr. Kaplan, we have reached a decision and are pleased to offer you the position of Assistant Professor of Literature. With many applicants for the position and a careful review, we feel your history with the university and your status as a published author will give you a unique connection to our students. We apologize for the lateness of the decision, but administrative adjustments delayed our annual budget review, and the position was only recently approved for hire. Professor Strode will handle your course load until September 21st, at which point you will take over classes. You will provide temporary housing for you during your speedy transition, but we need your answer as soon as possible. Our office letter is enclosed. Please sign and return at your earliest convenience. Thomas Castle, Literature Department Chair, Hardesty University. So is Dan actually getting maybe a stable job?
How could it possibly do that again?
I don't know. How could it possibly do that again? Yeah, he really likes when his dad reads with him. Bum 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 bum. Click 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 click. Nope, there's someone over there.
How long's the drive?
2 hours. We'd have to move.
But it would give you a stable job and you could paint. You could paint, Linda! You could paint! And maybe she'd feed you some paint. Yes, I know that's not good for the environment. But you like it.
The new schedule isn't as bad as it could have been. At least I'm getting 2 blocks of quiet time every day, though of course they're not as long as I wish they could be. And the sound of those doors closing is my favorite thing to hear these days. It's almost Pavlovian how that doorknob clicking shut puts me into a writing space. I'm not crazy enough to think there's anything mystical going on, but there's something to be said for developing a habit.
Danger! Hardesty University. Okay, so...
Paul, there were days when I thought this moment would never come. When I finish writing this, I'm going to pack everything up and drop the manuscript in the mail. My palms are sweating just thinking about letting it go.
Palms are sweaty. Mom's
I
spaghetti.
had no idea how hard it would be to finish this one. It took everything I had, and it's hard to look back over the summer without laughing. To think the plan was to get away from everything and just focus on the book. But you can't get away from yourself. Life doesn't give a damn about geography.
I like that quote. Life doesn't give a damn about
Where
geography.
will be when you do, or what you'll think. I know what I think, but objectivity left the building months ago. Some days I think this is the one. Other days I have a sick feeling in the pit of my stomach that says my career is over. All I can do is drop this in the mail and hope. Here goes.
Okay.
This could be it. An associate professorship at Hardesty? It's entry-level, sure, but everyone has to start somewhere, and it's the perfect situation for writing. The sabbatical program alone makes the job worth it, and the thought of actually working with Professor May? Wait, I guess I'd be calling him Philip now. That'll take some getting used to. But moving's a big step. I can't imagine a new school with new kids would be easy for Tommy. I know staying in Laurenton would be better for him and Linda, but they aren't handing out professorships on the corner. This isn't the kind of offer you pass up without a very good reason. But I might have 2 good reasons. Tried to sleep on it last night. What a joke. You have to be able to sleep for that to work.
I'm surprised Linda doesn't want him to do this.
I just talked things over with Dan, and we really have some serious thinking to do. The job at Hardesty sounds like a great opportunity for him, but moving would be so hard on us. I really want to join Art for All, and after everything we've been through with Tommy, it would be better for him to have some stability. I could even go full-time if Dan found a steady job, though I know he can't do that if he takes on extra tutoring with Tommy, and I'd never fault him for that. If we stay in Laurenton and Dan works with Tommy, I could still do the program part-time. Either way, it'd be better for Tommy and me than moving. But
I mean, we
know
have
that
the book
professorship
done.
would mean so much to Dan. Can't everything be simple just once?
No. No, it can't. Linda, what do you want? Linda.
You can say it. See if I got a real job.
I could even go full-time if... The 7 o'clock idea was dead before it even got started. Dan was pretty adamant that he just can't make the time with his writing schedule, and if we pushed it any later, Tommy would have been wiped out. I guess we'll just keep playing it by ear each night, but that makes it so hard to count on any quality time.
But you guys have quality time together every frigging morning because I chose to help Tommy with his reading. No, Linda. No.
It's just...
Linda, what I'm hearing is that...
You'd make new ones, buddy.
What about my friends?
Linda, I think you're being selfish, is what you're doing. Aww. Nope.
Hey, honey.
Hey, babe.
Oh, fuck. This is not an easy choice. You know what, though? Like, okay, so I think Linda is being irrational, and I'm not very happy with that. But I think that it is her time to try and make a go at going back to painting full time. I think if she doesn't, then I think if she doesn't, then they're gonna break up. Like they need to pull themselves together. Okay. And work together again. And they're not gonna work together again. Oh, fuck! That was okay. There are no compromises. What did the cat knock over? Oh, my cat's an idiot. I think that's gonna have to be the choice. I do think that Linda has said some things that I don't think she's rationally thinking through, and it kind of bothers me. But it just really bothers me. I just wish that she would be rational, because I think that her choices for the previous night, she is being a jerk. There's no more books. I guess if those represent actual diaries, then there might not be any more books. Let's check the kitchen, I guess. No more books. School's out for summer. I know, toilet. I know. Well, toilet, it's just gonna be you and me soon. Oh, and all the other toilets. Okay. Dan realized that supporting his wife didn't mean completely giving up on his writing career, so he declined the professorship offer and started looking for a part-time job. Linda joined Art for All full-time, and she blossomed as an artist. After months, she started her own workshop for recovering alcoholics, and she knew she'd found her calling. Tommy was happy to see his friends on the first day of school. Even though his schoolwork was still difficult, he was glad he didn't have to move. The stability of going to the same school was good for him, and his mother explained to him how hard it had been for his father to turn down a new job in his own way. Some way, Tommy understood. Why would you throw that out? Dan could barely get the words out when he called Hardesty to decline the offer. He knew they wouldn't care about his reasons. Then he shouldn't be working there. He turned his job down with full knowledge that he may never receive such an offer again. He would have to keep clawing his way forward, praying that the next advance check would come, his career dependent on it. And that's how the Kaplan summer in the house on the cliff came to an end. It was much more than a single season on the coast. Dan's choices there would come to define the rest of his life. Dan sent his final draft to Grove Field with a knot in his stomach. He knew it wasn't very good, and the readers agreed. It sold poorly and only published one more book after that. It came and went without anyone noticing, and he looked back on his life and thought that was a good summary of his career, too. It feels like that should be in as well. When they left the house, Dan and Linda's love was deeper than it had ever been. They spent the rest of their lives on an endless honeymoon, traveling and embracing life the way that few couples ever do. They grew old together and always secure in a deep love that carried them through whatever life handed them. And by summer's end, Tommy was a new child who returned to school full of joy and became one of the most popular kids in his class. Though unlike most of the cool kids, he remained friendly and grounded. By high school, he began getting national attention for his drawing ability. When he was able to be go to one of the most prestigious art schools in America, he became an award-winning graphic novelist. I cannot read this fast enough. Dan would look back on the summer from time to time and wonder why he had made the choices he had. He never quite shook the feeling that the voice in his head had been more than just a voice, and in quiet moments he even imagined he had been a character in someone else's novel. At times he was almost sure of it. Interesting.
A yard that's free of worthless moan, a ship on which we're all astowed.
Just 1 second. I'm going to lower the volume on that. Well, actually, no. You can hear me probably better than I can hear myself. It seems kind of loud, though. That took longer than I was expecting. Like, we are 3 hours and 14 minutes into the stream. So there's like 45 minutes left. And I'm trying to think, what would I want to do in the next 45 minutes? But anyway, like, my thoughts on this game. I'm happy I played it. I'm happy that I own it. I enjoyed... I think what I said earlier kind of still kind of holds. Oh, wow, that's I'm gonna wait until the song's over. To kind of like give like I wish I just didn't have to change focus of the window, because I want to lower the volume of this. Sometime I'm going to get myself an actual mixer, and then it's not going to be a problem. Because I think that is way too loud. So my thoughts on this. I think they're pretty much what they were beforehand. In that... I don't think that I got particularly involved in the characters. I think that's the big problem. And that I was making choices based on what I thought was probably the most sensible thing to do, but probably not based on what the characters would have done. Mostly because I thought that, like... but at the same time, I was seeing the worst of each of the characters, right? Like, I was seeing their internal monologues and their memories. So, like, I mean, I guess everyone kind of has those fleeting moments where they, you know, think shit that they really wish they didn't. I don't know, though, like... So being in people's heads, Tommy was a kid, and you know, like, Tommy was exactly like I expected, and Dan was exactly like I expected, but Linda seemed like she was being very selfish. Like, she was a very self-centered person. But at the same time, I think that's partially because she gave up a lot because Dan was a writer. So for her to seem more internally self-centered is less, I think, that she's just self-centered and more because she feels like she gave up a lot and she deserves... She believes it's Dan's turn to give something up. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna play this again. Not because it's bad or anything. I don't see the point in playing it again. Yes, I could get a different ending. You know, Dan could be a successful novelist, and I don't know, Tommy jumps off a cliff in some really depressing ending or something. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, well, let's shut this down.